G'day, I'm Bruce, and today I'm here to have a look at this grader that may be as old as 80 years old. This brand is Austin Western. If you see the A and the W, Austin Western. It would have been a large machine in its time, and I think these shared an engine with some of the early International TD series dozers. Yeah, the engine's pulled apart in this machine, but the people that own it were going to change the motor. They were thinking about putting a different engine in it. It's a very unusual thing because it's actually four-wheel drive and four-wheel steer, and everything's hydraulically controlled, which is pretty rare for something as old as this. If we look underneath here, we'll see the differential and everything. It's a little bit like a camelback diff on the older model Mack trucks. As we're looking forward here, we can see how the drive system works. You can see the tail shaft to drive the front diff is up here running along and down to the front diff. There's the ID plate on the side of it there. Got a very unusual setup where it's actually got four-wheel steer. And if you see down here, it's got a ram here to steer the front end of the machine. Just walking to the back of the machine now, and when we come around the corner here, here's the ram here to steer the back part of the machine. So four-wheel steer. I guess if you work the right levers, I guess you could probably have crab steering as well, where all the wheels are all facing the same angle going sideways. It's got a very unusual engine in it, this grader. They call it a MultiFuel engine, and it can run on, starts on petrol, and then when it gets warmed up you turn over to diesel. And we'll go around the other side now. We'll have a look around this side. This side's got an injector pump. Obviously the injectors are gone because the cylinder head's been pulled off. But it was probably an idea they used in cold countries because they could probably start pretty easily on petrol. Once it got warmed up, they could just switch over to diesel, then all of a sudden they're running on diesel. Well, here's the cylinder head off the grader. If you look on this side, we've got the spark plugs on this side, which work it on petrol. When it gets warmed up, you switch over to diesel. Here's the injectors over here. A lot of people have probably never come across an engine like this that can run on petrol and diesel. Like a lot of times, a lot of the old Fordsons and things, they ran on petrol. When they got hot, then they'd switch across to Kero. But this was another idea again where they went from petrol to diesel. Interestingly, the owner says it had levers which you flick to change the compression ratio when going from petrol to diesel. There's a crate of parts here which look like they belong to it. This thing would have been way ahead of its time in the 40s. When you look here, it's even got a hydraulically operated circle. And I know even people like Shane had a 17K Caterpillar grader. I can't remember exactly what model it was, but I think it was in the 70s. And pretty well everything on it was manually operated. I think the only thing that had a hydraulic ram on it was the blade. I think you could push the blade out sideways on a ram. The rest of everything was mechanically operated. People used to call them, wrist breakers. You'd push them in and put the blade down. The next thing, I think it'd come bang back out and it'd break your wrist. The levers up on the thing, and they had like rods and things coming forward to change the angle on the wheels and all that sort of stuff. Everything was done mechanically. So this thing would have been way in front of that as far as hydraulics went. Have a look at this for an idea. It's a steering wheel. It's not really a wheel. Just got these couple of knobs on here, and I guess you just direct the oil one way or the other, and everything changes. I don't know which levers do what, but certainly got a lot of levers on here. But you can see here's a pretty big valve bank, and not too many rubber lines on here. Most of it's all metal pipes to work the setup. Rams on the side there to move the blade. I don't really feel like sitting down here. We've had more rain here just before, so I can imagine sitting down on here, steering as you're going along and working the blade and the circle and all the rest of it. How's this for an unusual idea? This is to lock the circle where the blade is, and you pull this out, and you must adjust your blade to where you want it, whatever angle you want on it. Then you let this go back, and that locks the circle. That takes the weight off the rams basically, and that locks the blade in that position. That way it takes the pressure off the rams, I guess. It's almost like an Aveling Barford of the era. And if we look down here, we've got the throttle here, we think, gears here, and this arrangement here, I think, is the rear steer, which is a bit of an unusual idea. This is probably the blade control either side here, possibly, to lift the blade up and down. And I'm not sure what that is. One of these might even be to work scarifiers or something, which it doesn't have scarifiers on it. But it was pretty well advanced for its time. Fuel tanks there. Air cleaner's just here under the, what would have been the seat. Oh no, the air cleaner's just free. The air cleaner must have been mounted somewhere. Oh, the air cleaner's probably mounted on top of the engine. Because the head's off the engine, that's why the air cleaner's sitting here. The air cleaner probably came up through here, and it might have been the exhaust system might have come up through there. Yeah, apparently this one over here is petrol, mainly for starting, so that one only holds about a gallon. So once it got warmed up a bit, you just turned over on the diesel, and then here's the diesel tank here. The diesel tank here looks like it's probably, I don't know, it might be 80 litre might be more. I suppose that's certainly big enough to do a day's work on a machine like this, I reckon. Here we have the hydraulic tank, which is just sitting underneath there. That's probably the filler and probably the breather, I would say. Looks like it's probably got horsehair or mesh in underneath there. It's amazing how good the radiators are in some of these old machines. You look at that side, looks really good. You look at this side round here. Like I've often said before, the test with radiators is just run the back of your fingernails over there. They've just got a certain sound about them. The radiator's still good, that radiator is excellent. It's certainly a unique piece of machinery. Something like that was built that long ago. It's got that many hydraulic cylinders and things on it. And hopefully somebody will come along, take an interest in this thing and maybe get it going again. And that's probably about it for this video. So until next time, thanks very much for watching.